Etsy just released their Q2 financial report. And one of the most shocking updates is that they're doubling down on Facebook ads. So I decided to run Etsy's actual ad through ChatGPT and compare it to a real print-on-demand brand's ad. Now, what came back wasn't just surprising, it was a massive red flag for both current and future Etsy sellers. That's why in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what is changing in Etsy's marketing strategy, that they're going to be running more Facebook ads, what GPT-5 had to say about the ad, and why if you sell on Etsy or you're even thinking about it, this is something that you need to see. So let's get into it. So to help explain this, I actually created a board that we can go on to and talk through. Like I said, Etsy just went through their Q2 financial results. Now, this is something that's not uncommon. Etsy is required by law to share these findings with their shareholders, and it's made public. It's really interesting to read and see where Etsy is going, but specifically for this video, we're diving into their marketing. And the most interesting part about their marketing from 2024 to 2025 was that their marketing budget increased over 15%. Now, this is a massive jump. This means that they are spending even more millions of dollars on direct-to-consumer advertising, which is something that's really interesting. And they talk about how they are changing their marketing strategy moving forward. So Etsy used to focus a lot on TV ads. So I don't know about you, but I've definitely seen Etsy ads running on my television. That was helping to really portray Etsy as this big brand that they are, and getting the word out and trying to get the average TV viewer to connect with small sellers. And they were running some Facebook ads. It was never really their focus. So now moving forward in Q3 2025, Etsy is now cutting back on their TV ads. I guess not seeing a huge direct result coming from advertising on that sort of platform. And they are doubling down on influencer marketing and increased paid ads. They also talk about the importance of personalized email marketing, which I could do a whole video on that in itself. But for this video, we are talking directly about increasing paid ads, aka Facebook ads. It makes us wonder, is this a good move? Is this something that Etsy should be doing? Honestly, because of how I've marketed, I think it's a great move for Etsy because of the fact it's going to get a lot more people directly from browsing Facebook, being on Instagram, to then coming over to their platform. You gain a lot of analytics. It's a lot easier to see where people are coming from than it is on television, because you can't really track a viewer if they saw the television ad and then landed on the site. Like, you'd have to ask the viewer, how did you find out about us? And they'd have to click a television ad. Versus Facebook, they can track every single person who clicked on one of their ads. You get so much more data that you can make better, more strategic decisions about your company. Now, it depends on how you look at it, because if you are a seller, you may look at their marketing strategy a little differently. And that is because Etsy has participation in offsite ads, aka participation in Facebook ads. So as an Etsy seller, you're automatically enrolled in signing up for offsite ads. Now, if you make less than $10,000 per year, you can opt out of this, but if you're over $10,000 a year, you cannot opt out of it. If you're less than $10,000 a year, you are going to be paying a 15% fee for any sales that are associated to coming from an offsite ad. Versus if you're over $10,000 in sales, you're going to pay a $12,000 fee if that purchase comes from an offsite ad, aka somebody clicking on a Facebook ad, landing on your store, and then purchasing an item from your store. Now, there's pros and cons to this. If you are a seller, one of the big pros is that you get a big reach without upfront risks. So a lot of times people are nervous about starting a Shopify brand because we need to bring in our own traffic. Now, when you sell on Etsy, Etsy does all of that for you. You don't necessarily need to be investing anything upfront to get that traffic to your site, but you do pay for it in the after fact. Now, it also helps to increase your sales without having any marketing knowledge. You don't have to learn Facebook ads. You don't need to get into an ad account, learn how to run ads effectively, and you can still generate sales this way. Now, some sellers may look at this as a con because this is something that Etsy hasn't done before. This is a big change to their marketing. So it's kind of up in the air what may happen to my sales. Now, beyond that, you lack of control over your brand's identity. Now, Etsy's not going to be advertising your specific shop. Instead, they're just simply putting your products exactly as they are in their listing onto a Facebook ad. And I'll show you exactly what that ad looks like and why it's a little bit of a concern. Now, the second part is about favoritism towards high volume niches. Etsy's going to get a lot of data from all of these ads, and it has the potential to push a lot of sellers out of the way because Etsy's going to pay for the ads that are gaining people coming to the site. So this is very different from their normal algorithm and their search functionality. They're used to people coming directly to the site, searching, and then Etsy is showing them those specific products based off of the keywords that people are using to search. This changes with Facebook ads because Facebook operates on a completely different algorithm. So sellers who were gaining a lot of sales through the normal algorithm on Etsy may see a big downside when it comes to their Facebook ads because it's just a differing competing algorithm. So it'll be interesting to see as time goes on. Now, this also gives no visibility to the cost per acquisition or the cost of how much was paid in order to gain that sale. You're paying a 15 or 12% fee if a sale occurs, but Etsy could have maybe paid 55 cents for you to actually generate that sale. And a 12 to 15% fee off of a $20, $30 shirt could potentially be a lot higher than what was actually paid for that ad to convert. So being in the dark about this, I actually think is concerning if you are a current seller because you don't have any of that data available to you to see if you're overpaying for that ad. Now, finally, these types of ads are going to only increase Etsy's brand. It's not going to increase your brand or your store's type of visibility because I'll show you in the ad, they're not displaying the name of the shop. They're not giving the seller really any credit to this. All that this is doing is driving more people to their website. Now, if you've watched some of my videos before, you could probably guess that I think the cons outweigh the pros, but I want to show you exactly how this ad looks so that you can take a look and see what ad you may select if you were hit with an Etsy ad. So on the left, we have an example of one of Etsy's ads. I went into Facebook ad library. This is open to the public. Just Google Facebook ad library, type in Etsy, and you will see all of the ads that Etsy is running. And their ad is pretty bland and dry, I would say. As you can see, this is Etsy's copy. This just in, discover the latest trends from small shops on Etsy. They have a picture of the item that they are showing, and then they have the super long Etsy title, which everybody makes their titles super long like this on Etsy because of the fact you're using the search algorithm. This is not something that is common in Facebook ads. So it'll be really interesting to see if the title of items will need to be changed in order for them to see increase in ad conversions because Black Crystal Gothic Victorian Necklace Silver Plated is very different from what we'd normally see in Facebook ads. So overall, pretty bland. Nothing about this is really catching my attention. There's nothing about the image, like unless I was somebody who was really specifically searching for a Black Crystal Gothic Victorian necklace, I probably would never click on this ad. And there's nothing about it that's like urgent or I feel like is speaking directly to me, which is what you want an ad to do. I compared this to a print-on-demand brand that I did a full case study on and broke down. They do extremely well, and the majority of their traffic comes from running Facebook ads. So this is how their ad is compared to Etsy's. And you can see the item that they are selling is a carnitas t-shirt. And you can see they're eating potentially a carnitas taco, which is ironic for the shirt, but carnitas and grease and inner peace. So right off the bat, if you are somebody who loves carnitas tacos, this ad is speaking to you. You see the taco, you see carnitas, you're like, ooh, I could totally go for some Taco Tuesday. But more about this ad and the copy is that it's speaking directly to one person, where Etsy's ad really, I felt like, was speaking to no one or just like people in general. But it wasn't actually like calling me out of like, hey, Meg, like you need this black crystal necklace to go with your other goth items. And there's nothing about the copy that is speaking to me. There's nothing about the image that's speaking to me. It's all just very plain because of the fact Etsy's just kind of using what they can from each individual Etsy shop. versus on House of Chingaso's ad, they're able to add in that they've been in the business for 7 years, that they have over 10,000 reviews. So they are gaining that customer trust right off the bat in their ad. They're connecting with the customer by having a very visually appealing ad creative, as well as copy that's speaking very directly to one person. Now, both have the Shop Now button, which is great, meaning that that ad is supposedly trying to drive sales. This is just how I broke down the two ads based off of what I've done on my own brand and what I've seen others try to do on Facebook running ads. But I'm interested to hear what you have to say. So let me know in the comments below what you think of Etsy's ad versus the print on demand brands ad, because I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you are an Etsy seller. From here, I was curious because a lot of people would say, now, Meg, you're biased. You run Facebook ads. Of course, you're going to have an issue with the way that Etsy's running their ads and blah, 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 blah. And I get it. Completely understand. And at the end of the day, I believe that no matter what platform you start to sell on, if you stick with it long enough and you learn the ins and outs and you play the game, you can be successful on any platform. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of hard work. So I'm not denying that. All that I am saying is that it is interesting to see Etsy changing their marketing strategy so significantly, especially when so many Etsy people have said, you don't need paid ads. Like, you can just sell on Etsy and use the algorithm. Clearly the algorithm's changing. So we need to also be prepared to potentially adapt to these changes that Etsy is making. So I decided to go to ChatGPT because I don't want people to think this is just what Meg thinks. So I asked ChatGPT, I gave them both ads, these two right here. And I simply said, I'm going to show you two ads. I want you to rate each ad. Give a rating based on which one you think would drive more sales. And then I also clarified these are Facebook ads. So that ChatGPT would know exactly where these viewers are coming from, what kind of way do we need to be catching their attention, because Facebook ad is going to be very different from a television ad, and etc. So ChatGPT broke down both ads. Now, the first ad that it rated was the Etsy ad, and it gave it some strengths. It said it's very clear and minimalistic. It has a clear product image on a plain background, and it's straightforward product title with keywords for SEO. Now, it's interesting that it said SEO because SEO isn't really something that we do anything with on Facebook ads. Now, if you were talking Google ads, has the potential to do a little bit more, but really that SEO is just for Etsy's algorithm. So I don't really count that as a strength as far as it goes for Facebook marketing. Now, here are the weaknesses. Feels generic, lacks storytelling or emotional pull, doesn't build brand identity. It looks like it's an Etsy ad. It doesn't highlight urgency, reviews, social proof. The text, this just in, is vague and not tailored to the target audience, aka there's no real target audience with that specific ad. So ChatGPT's rating of Etsy ad was 5 out of 10. So good for discovery, but unlikely to convert strongly because it feels impersonal and product only. So I love that. Very interesting. Now, if you look at ad number 2, House of Chingaso's ad, it gave that one some strengths. Strong personality and brand voice, relatable cultural references, humor and identity-driven appeal, social proof, as well as a lifestyle photo of a model eating tacos creates a connection and context. Now, it did give it some weaknesses, and that was the copy is a bit long and casual. You could lose some people who are just skimming across ads, and it may only resonate with a specific cultural niche, which honestly, that to me, I don't look at that as a weakness because of the fact that is the niche that this ad is in. I think that the ad is really speaking to people within that niche very well. But again, it could be limiting them to talking to a more broad audience and preventing them from going a little bit outside of that niche. Now, overall, ChatGPT gave House of Chingaso's ad a rating of 9 out of 10. So a much stronger ad for Facebook. It taps into humor, identity, community, and proof, all things that drive impulse purchases. Now, that's the majority of print-on-demand ads or impulse purchases. Essentially, we're trying to get Karen, who's sitting there scrolling on her phone, to say, oh my gosh, I love that shirt. I need to have it. Or, oh my gosh, this mug is just talking to me, so on and so forth, to immediately leave Facebook, which they were never on there to buy in the first place, to go to my site, purchase it, and go back to Facebook and back to scrolling. That's essentially who we're trying to talk to. And the Etsy ad just isn't quite doing that. Now, I decided to ask ChatGPT one more question. And I said, what should Etsy sellers do? Because of the fact this is going to be a new marketing angle for Etsy. So it has the potential to really change the dynamics, not only of their algorithm, but from what their sellers are going to see. I'm sure some sellers are going to see an increase in sales with adding in Facebook ads, and some may see a decrease because maybe only the traffic that they're sending, they're not going to the collection page where you're being hit with all the different sellers who are selling that one particular product. It could just be driving them directly to that product page. So some sellers may be completely overseen and no one's going to do the research and find their shop. This was the direct response that ChatGPT 5 gave, and that was many Etsy sellers would be better off creating a standalone Shopify store and running their own marketing. Now, that was based off of the two ads that I had shown you. Etsy ads are generic and transactional, while self-run marketing lets you tell stories, build brand identity, and scale profits without marketplace limits. That's pretty wild and pretty telling. But again, like I said, I think anybody can be successful on any platform as long as you play the game, you learn how to understand what those particular customers are looking for, and you design just that. And then beyond that, ChatGPT took it one step further and actually gave step-by-step plans for what to do if you are an Etsy seller currently thinking of going to selling on a standalone store like Shopify. So it gives reasons. Why does it feel limiting? Why a standalone store essentially wins, because we showed it ad number 2, but timing matters. Etsy is great for validation, quick sales, free traffic, test if a product resonates. A standalone store requires a little bit more of an investment, aka ads, branding, conversion rate optimization. Moving too early without demand is risky. Now, ChatGPT also gives alternative perspectives and different approaches that you could potentially do, but ultimately at the end of the day, I have a few takeaways. And that is that you can absolutely be successful if you put the time and focus into one platform. It is very hard if you've split focus and you're trying Etsy, Amazon, Shopify, Teespring, Redbubble, you name it, and just plastering products all over the place. You're never going to learn specifically how a platform works if you are spreading yourself thin across 5 different platforms. And I think it's just because we think if I have that design shown in these many places, my chances of getting a sale completely dramatically increase. But in fact, we end up losing focus. We don't understand what anybody actually wants. And then we're sad because we're on 5 different platforms and we're not getting any sales. Takeaway number 2 is that it's interesting to see Etsy making these moves. Facebook ads have gotten such a bad rap from people in the print-on-demand community, as well as everything with drop shipping. People don't want to try to learn ads because it's a little confusing. It's overwhelming. And I completely understand that. Now, takeaway number 3 is that only time will tell if this strategy is effective. Luckily, this is something that we'll have pretty close coverage on because Etsy will share every quarter what happened with them financially. So it'll be pretty easy to kind of determine what was happening specifically with the company. But finally, my 4th takeaway is it'll be worth watching how it plays out for current Etsy sellers. I'm really intrigued with the marketing strategy that Etsy has, but ultimately, I really want to see what's going to happen with the current sellers. I think some sellers are going to be really happy to see that their sales are up because potentially their products are driving a lot more sales because they're getting that extended reach beyond just the algorithm and the platform. But at the same time, I think some Etsy sellers are going to be kind of kicked to the side because it's just going to be a different way that people interact with the platform overall. Just because I know that the ads that they're running are catalog ads, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out because when you click one of these ads, it takes you directly to the product. So you're completely bypassing, I would call it the collection page, but like the page where all the different products are with the different sellers, you're directly bypassing that and landing right on the product page. So you're kind of not competing as much with those sellers, but I think there will be a few sellers that really stand out that drive the traffic. Facebook's going to show that to way more people, and they're going to show less people those other shops because it's just not converting. It's not profitable. And Etsy wants to be running, at least close to profitable or break even ads, even with their budget. So it'll definitely be interesting to play out, but definitely leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about this strategy. If you enjoyed this video, you're looking for more kind of Etsy, Shopify updates and news, then like and subscribe to my channel. It would absolutely mean the world to me. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video.